Let's talk about the AVKANS Go for baseball live streaming. In our baseball streaming series, where we're taking one brand of camera in its native ecosystem and seeing what it gives us for a baseball live stream, the AVKANS Go is going to be our third installment. And so we've run a full game with just AVKANS Go cameras in the AVKANS software to bring to you what the report is on, okay, how does this work for us in real life? Now, I'll walk you through the setup, and then I'll walk you through what I found about that setup, and then I'll tell you the things I liked, things I didn't like, and what went right and what went wrong as we go through this video. So, AVKANS Go released this camera, I think, in the fall of 24. If you look on the Amazon page for the AVKANS Go 4K streaming camera, it's going to say that it's been available since 21, and I'm pretty sure that they're just lumping in some of their other PTZ cameras, and that's not specific to this one. What I see from the reviews and what I remember coming out, this camera showed up sometime in September, maybe October of 24, and so it's relatively new. And it was an answer to many other similarly priced live streaming cameras, mobile live streaming cameras. Really good battery life. It's going to have you a 4K sensor. You're going to get 3 times optical zoom plus 3 times digital zoom, which of course would give you a 9 times punch in. You'll degrade a little bit of the quality if you punch all the way in that far. And then it's also going to have a lens cap, which is a nice feature, and NDI that's not that you don't have to purchase in addition to in addition to what you're doing there. So the AVKANS Go in my baseball streaming setup included 2 cameras. I ran one right behind home plate, and folks, it is a beautiful behind the plate shot for baseball streaming. It has a nice wide field of view, and that's another place I'm not sure the information that you get online is correct. It says it's an 81 degree field of view, which makes it a little bit less than the Mevo Start in its field of view, in the width that you get from a certain depth behind the home plate. Yet when I put them side by side, it's a little wider. So it's probably closer to 89 or 90 degrees field of view. I need to set it up next to the OBSBot Tail 2 because it is an 89 degree field of view, and I feel like that's an accurate measurement. So we need to see just how close it is. So with an 89 or 90 degree field of view plus a 3 times optical, setting up your home plate shot is breezy, easy. You put it so it peeks through the fence, and then you just zoom a little bit, or it's so easy to set that home plate shot up, and because it's a 4K sensor, it's a really nice shot. We were streaming via the AVKANS app using RTMP straight to YouTube. That's what we were doing with the 2 cameras. You can run multi-camera through their app. Switching cameras is just as easy as tapping on the screen. Our data was handled by the STARLINK Mini and the Slate AXT travel router, the 1800. I'm using the 1800 because the STARLINK Mini doesn't have quite the range in its built-in router. So that's the data that was going out. Audio was handled, or I intended to handle audio by connecting some wireless microphones, some 2.4 gigahertz wireless microphones, one to the back of one of the cameras, one to the back of the other, because there's 2 things about the AVKANS Go we need to understand in the setup phase. For audio, the 3.5mm jack is not powered enough to power a mini shotgun mic. And so my Rode Video Micro wouldn't work. I've tested it, and it would not work. They have good built-in microphones, don't get me wrong, and they have some AI that helps process the sound and keep wind noise from being an issue, but it was a breezy day, and I thought there's no way I can get away with not running some kind of microphone with a wind muff. So I set up, I think I had a small rig on one of them and the Sync Go on another, and I set up the little wireless microphone just right up next to the camera so I'd have audio. That didn't turn out so well. We'll get to that part in the what I didn't like about this setup, but I did have to run audio through the wireless microphones, at least at the beginning, and then I mounted them using the hinged magnet mounts. If you haven't seen these yet, they are the best. They're such great utilitarian mounts that make everything safe. They've got a tether that comes with it. It's awesome. Okay, so the result. So you'll be watching some clips from the stream as we go through this, and I'm going to have to show you the YouTube version. I'm showing you the YouTube version that I actually recorded on my iPad as a screen grab, because one of the camera's SD card recordings just gave me the upper left-hand portion of the screen zoomed in. It didn't give me full screen, and that's not even a feature that AVKANS offers, but their software did that to that SD card recording. And the other SD card, when I pulled it out of the other camera in order to get the film, the footage from the first base shot, that couldn't be read by any device that I own. So it had to be reformatted, which means I lost all of that footage. So SD card handling is still a work in progress for the AVKANS Go software. I was really looking forward to seeing that footage too, because that's 4K sensor. The colors are beautiful. Just one of those rats moments. Okay, so audio from the wireless mics turned out to be so incredibly light, I could barely make it out over the crowd noise that I could hear with my ears. So I'm monitoring. I've got my AirPods in, and I can barely make out that there's any sound coming across the stream. And I didn't want to just keep jacking up the gain and blow it out. So I wound up pulling the microphone systems from one of the cameras in order just to let it run audio through its built-in microphone. It did surprisingly well. It was a very breezy day. We did get a little bit of wind noise, but not near as much wind noise as I thought we would. And the other thing about the software for AVKANS is audio follows video. So when I switched from home plate to first base, I went from a little wind noise, but you can hear the crowd noise. It's a decent shot of the game, to very, very light. Could barely hear anything because I didn't go down and pull that one. Yeah, I have to actually get over to that camera the way I mounted it, and it's not something you can do during the game. So anyway, had to leave that one alone. Since audio follows video, it was different between the two shots, and that comes across on YouTube as well. So you live and learn. It's fine. And last thing about audio, it lagged behind. And the further we went in the game, the further behind it got. It doesn't handle audio and video at the same rate. And so where it was pretty close at the beginning, you'd hear the crack of the bat. It's, fairly well synced. By the time the second, third, fourth inning, seventh inning for sure, man, it was half a minute, maybe a whole minute apart. It was very, very noticeable that what was happening on the field was not what was being reacted to in the stands. And it's a glitch. It's one of those things. The software team is working on it, and we're going to give them time to do that. Again, this is a new product, and hardware-wise is very different from software-wise in this review. So 1.5 hours in, though, as we're going through this setup, the stream stopped. And it did not give me any warning. It did not give me any message that the stream had stopped. I just happened to have been monitoring the YouTube feed on my YouTube Studio page and realized that it wasn't live anymore. So we finished the game with the same two cameras, but we used the Mevo Multicam app the rest of the game, where the audio behaved like it was supposed to, where although I couldn't get SD card recordings from that, I could get iPad recordings from that, of whatever the program out was. Not the full 4K, still just 1080, but we did get to do those the rest of the game through the Multicam app. So here's what I didn't like about this baseball streaming setup. Audio being out of sync. Obviously, that's not a good thing for trying to run a baseball live stream. When I first set up the camera, or first turned on the stream, I guess, the umpires were meeting the coaches at home plate, and it's just a clean shot. The sun is shining. It's beautiful color. The field looks immaculate. And I've got a great view of umpires and coaches there at home plate. And I can see the focus breathing. It's focusing out and in and out and in. And so I wound up turning off the time of flight sensor. And I wound up turning back on the time of flight sensor to get that to correct. And I don't remember which one actually solved it, but eventually it wasn't focus breathing anymore, and it turned out to be fine. So the stopping of the stream without notice was not a good thing. So that's another thing I didn't like. Not having a recording, the SD card failure, that was something I did not like about this setup. But I will admit that all of this is app related, and as their software team develops this app, that's going to get better. There's no doubt about it. And because they had the incredible foresight of including NDI, not at an extra cost, I can run this into Mevo Multicam. I can run this into one of my streaming consoles, whether it be an OBSBot Talent, Magewell Mini. I can run it into an OC Go Stream deck if I want to, into any of the YOLOBox consoles. And so because it allows me NDI, I can run it in Top Director and Multicam as well. So all of the different ways I can use these cameras in another ecosystem, and it becomes a very valuable camera because of the 3x optical zoom, the 4K sensor. And keep in mind, we haven't mentioned that it has HDMI out. And it does have HDMI, not full-size connection. You have to have the micro connection, but it's running HDMI out. You can run UVC out, which is a USB connection, and still get 4K out of it as well. And so they've given us really good option as far as using this as a hardware device. It's just that the software is it's lagging a little bit. So here's what I did like about this. Setting up is easy. Put this device, which is in a familiar shape, a familiar size with great battery life. And you get it close, and then you can just in the software zoom in or out, and you have a great view. The battery life ended up being a 3+ hour game with 50% battery life left. So 7 hours of runtime would not be unexpected from this. So battery life is really strong in the AVKANS Go. And then one of the software pieces that I actually really did like is when you're looking at the game and whichever camera is active, you've got the preview screen on the top. Zooming in and out is top level. Just tap the button just tap the icon there and slide up or slide down to zoom in or to zoom out. You don't have to find it in a menu anywhere. It is top level, makes it great. Running that zoom slider up and down is not quite as easy as a preset, but it really does beat having it buried a couple of levels deep. The picture quality was good. Now, in one of the shots, you're going to notice that the right-hand side of the view is blurry, and I think that's a physical issue. I think that's the camera that I bought way back in the fall, and I'm pretty sure that one had an issue. It was an early release. It doesn't even the branding on it doesn't even look the same as what it looks now in the newer cameras, but it is blurry on the right-hand side. It's almost as if the center is in perfect focus, and then they've let it blur out on the sides, but the left side doesn't do it. So I feel like it's a physical issue with that lens in that particular camera. Just one of those things. Other than that, the image quality is really, really nice. I'm very well impressed. Color handling, they need a little bit of help in their software still, but the image quality is good. And then NDI is what brings this into most other ecosystems. HDMI too as well, but the ability to use this anywhere in any other software is one of the great things about the AVKANS Go, and it's what sets it up to be a valuable part of just about anybody's mobile live streaming setup.